This is the video review of Transformers Titans Return Megatron. You can see right here he's in a tank mode, but he's not just a tank, he is also a plane, because this is actually going to be our new mold for Blitzwing. I'm bringing in a couple comparisons right away. We have the recent Megatron mode, which just dwarfs this new Megatron, but I still prefer this mold for Megatron. This is simply going to be my new Blitzwing now. Moving on to something a little bit more closer to home, you have Blitzwing himself. That is the G1. He is obviously a lot bigger. There's no doubting that. And then moving on once again, we have the mold for the other most recent Blitzwing toy we got, which this is just going to be worlds ahead of the old one. That just 100% blows the old one out of the water. Finally, comparing him to his wave mate is going to be right here. That's the G2 Optimus Prime / Octone mode, as they announced him to be. First thing I want to talk about Megatron by himself is his barrels. This is two separate pieces, and this is going to be the best way to store that gun in tank mode. It has better places in other modes, but that's going to be the barrel without the top part. This also comes off, revealing a very short, stubby little nose there, but that's going to be switched out for the Blitzwing mold from what we've seen. You can easily cover that up though by attaching the barrel using a little slot right there, and then that slot on here. You attach the black part of the fusion cannon to it and it looks much better. It's a little big, but it gets the job done. Moving on to his Titan Master, you have a completely new mold from what it looks like. It looks slightly like Megatron. It's not 100%. If you take a look at the Titan Master for Galvatron, you can see that this is a much smaller head. It also has painted eyes, but the chest is completely different. This one represents Megatron a lot less than the Galvatron head. Obviously, the heads are going to be different, as they are different characters on the back, though. The Titan Master just goes up here in the cockpit. He just tabs in, like with the little foot tab that they have. And you have a canopy piece, which just kind of covers him like a blanket. Doesn't really go all the way over the figure. Moving on to the first transformation, we're going to go from tank mode to jet mode. And one thing you can note is the fact that this is very similar to the G1 toy. You have a lot of same movements that the other toy has, like the spinning around of the entire side, this flipping motion of part of the arm, kind of like that. But we'll go on to the transformation for him right now. To start, you're going to want to spread these wings out. And as you can see, you have those stickers that we'll get into once we get to the jet mode. You're going to want to take those, fold those out. Then you have, down here, you have the hand pegged into what becomes the tail fins for the jet mode. So you're going to want to try and take that off one together. It's a very tight movement. And you're just going to want to unpeg those and then take the whole entire section. There's a tab up here that it tabs in with. And then just kind of spin that around. Similarly, at the same time, you're going to want to have this already kind of up in that position, because it kind of locks it all in, and it kind of doesn't push past the other part and let out some force. Next, you're going to want to do the same with the other side. So we're going to just remove that, and then take the whole piece. I'm showing it from the bottom now. Just flipping it up like that. Tabbing it into place right over here next to the wing, and then and then you have part of the wing now folded. Keep that down. You're going to next want to take these arms and flip them back like that, and they will peg in right over here. Almost done now. You're gonna want to get the turret out of the way so you can move the cockpit out, and then you can just fold that turret right back into place. Take the cockpit, open it up, flip out the nose cone, and there you have Blitzwing / Megatron in his jet mode. And this thing's gorgeous. So now that we're in Megatron's absolutely gorgeous jet mode, we're going to start off once again with a few comparisons. First off, you have the original Blitzwing, which this mold is definitely based off of. You can definitely tell all of that. And you can just see where this guy is going to get turned into Blitzwing later down the line. Here he is next to the more recent Blitzwing mold, and this guy is just so much better. He feels more solid. This guy is just so flimsy. He doesn't stay tabbed in. He just untabbed right in my hand right there as well. Moving on once again, you have the Optimus Prime that came out as his Wavemate. This is also going to be Octone in the future, as we've covered before. And finally, once again, here he is with that Megatron tank. You can see this is a little bit closer in size. You still have maybe a good 2 or 3 inches towards the back that this guy has on him. But then again, that Megatron is a leader class figure, and there should be a substantial size difference. One of the most important things to talk about on this mode is your stickers. You have the giant red and silver stickers on the wings. And though compared to that Optimus Prime figure that I just showed, the stickers on here aren't as horrible as them on the Prime because of the fact that they're on a much flatter surface. Still, you're gonna get some raising at the edges, as you can see right there, over there in that corner. But it's not as, they're not coming off as fast as the Optimus Prime figure has, which I bought same day and opened right after each other. In vehicle mode, you have a opening cockpit. In the jet mode, you have the opening cockpit, which you can stick the Titan Master in. I believe he has to have the arms down at the side to fit in there. But there you go, he can fit in right there. In tank mode, this is inside that compartment, so you can't fit the Titan Master in there. Other than that, he's so sleek. It's pretty much a perfect jet from the top. Yeah, you have your kibble, but Blitzwing, yeah, he has it too. It's a little bit more organized, but you do have a little bit of ugliness where the arms form. But yeah, this is phenomenal, and it's definitely going to be even more phenomenal as Blitzwing. You also have 2 little 3mm, and not 3mm, much less than that. The little pegs for the bottom of the Titan Master feet to stand up there, but I think the cockpit is a much better place for him. Before we start the transformation, we need to take a quick look at the weaponry. So this is the configuration you have for robot mode, but that can be separated or kept together, which is my preferred way of doing it, and putting it onto the back of the vehicle. There's some tabs that line up, so you can keep it like that. Alternatively, you can just have the seat gun separated from the cannon. If that wants to stay on there, that would be great. You can have that, and you could tab that down there, or peg it back down there into that little hole, or you could keep it on the turret like you would in tank mode. So we're going to take those off and start. We're just going to combine those for robot mode. Next, we're going to open the cockpit. If you have the Titan Master in there, remove it, because you need to fold that nose cone in, and then fold up these parts right there. Coming under here, you're going to want to take the whole tank section and flip in the cockpit, flip that up so it's facing like that. Next, you're going to want to take the entire wing assembly, bring it up, tab it into place up there now, back where it was in tank mode. Next, fold out the arm, fold down that piece, turn it, do that. Bring it up like that, and bring it back down. There you have the arm. So same on the other side, bring that down. You can flip this tread piece out, flip the arm one way, and then flip the back panel. Flip it all the way up like that, then flip it back down. It's pretty complex, but it's pretty intuitive at the same time. Next, you're going to want to take this piece, and you can't do this until after you have these arms pegged in, because that kind of slots over them. And just flip it up, and there's his chest. Next thing I need to point out is you have some tabs in the legs there, and going back to any of the vehicle modes, you need to make sure those are in the correct place. And I'll show you those a little bit closer when we unlock the legs, which we're going to do right now. So for the legs, you're going to need to first split them, because these panels are very limited without splitting the legs. You need to be able to open them up the way, and without splitting the legs, you can't. And without opening that panel all the way, you can't flip the foot out. So do that, open the panel, flip the foot out, accordion the leg up, and close back that panel, and flip back that fin to form the heel. There you can see one of the holes that tabs in to the leg, so it keeps it together. The other is going to be right there on the groin and on the opposite thigh. Next, do the same thing with the other side. So just flip that, accordion that in, and flip the foot out, close it back up, heel. So there you go. That's more or less the robot mode. That's fairly accurate to G1 Blitzwing right there as is, but what I like to do is take the wings, fold it out like that, hinge it in like that, and hinge it in like that. So it's kind of compact. So we'll just do that with the other side. And one last thing, you gotta take the headmaster, which I have misplaced. One last thing, you got to take the headmaster, just slots into the top of the neck, and there you go. Optionally also, you have the little trigger here that flips up the side panels, but it doesn't look too good, so we're just going to leave that down. And there you have Megatron and his robot mode. Now that we have Megatron in robot mode, we're going to start by attaching his fusion cannon. That only has the way to attach via the pegs on the side. It's kind of disappointing, but it still gives the effect that he needs to be a Megatron. Next, I want to go straight into comparisons once again. Here he is going to be with Titans Return Galvatron, who is a teeny bit taller, as you can see right there. The turret on Megatron, which is sticking slightly out of frame right now, is the only thing that really is taller, but head-wise, Galvatron's going to be a little bit taller. Moving on, let's go look at his wave mate. Here's Prime, which, if you guys want to see a review of this, you're going to have to wait until the inevitable Nemesis Prime repaint comes out, because I'm not very happy with the stickers on this figure. It's very tragic that Hasbro would do something like that. And this Prime is a lot shorter, but that's okay. Megatron canonically usually is a little bit taller than Prime. Moving on. This guy. About the same height. This guy's a little bit shorter, a little bit more kibble though in height for him. But this guy screams Blitzwing more than Blitzwing does, apparently. And then finally, G1 Blitzwing and the most recent Megatron mold. The most recent Megatron mold, who barely fits in camera. You can just taking Megatron out of the picture, because this is not Megatron. This is a Blitzwing that's painted gray. You can see Blitzwing in this guy, and it makes me so excited to get that new figure. Other things in robot mode is you have a little bit of chest detail via stickers. It looks like Megatron. It has enough. One of the things that disappoints me is he's a little bulky, and a little misproportioned in a sense, as he's just he's okay. It's not something that's like super distracting, but his bulk is a little kibbly, and on Megatron, I think it kills it as the toy that's going to take over my Classics Megatron spot. But other than that, I would... Talking a little bit about the robot mode, his chest right there is done with some sticker detail. His entire color scheme is pretty G1 accurate. You even have a little bit of the chest grills picked out, or the little lower waist grills that he has picked out properly. His fusion cannon's there. It's a little bit weird of an angle, but obviously we're not going to be able to get that right considering all the figures that have gotten it wrong recently. But overall, he's a little bulky, and I'm not happy with that. He could use a little less kibble. He's not very sleek, and because of that, he's not going to be making it onto my shelf as the Classics Megatron. I see him as Blitzwing. I'm okay with that as Blitzwing because as Blitzwing, it's perfect. It's what we needed. But as Megatron, it's a little off. Thank you for watching. This has been Fishformers with Transformers Voyager class Megatron from Titan's Return, signing out.